Well, let's head back home, and calls are growing for the Albanese government to call a Commonwealth Royal Commission in the wake of the Bondi terror attack. Joining us live is the Shadow Attorney-General Andrew Wallace. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. Yes, certainly a lot of people are really moving forward and pushing the federal government for a Commonwealth Royal Commission. What do you think?
Well, Janie, thanks for having me on. The Coalition over the weekend drafted, as part of its task force, the draft terms of reference for a Federal Royal Commission, which would look into the rise of anti-Semitism in this country, particularly since the 7th of October 2023, and culminating in the horrific terrorist attack in Bondi. A Federal Royal Commission is the preeminent form of inquiry in this country, and we think that it is befitting of such a serious incident as Bondi and the anti-Semitism that the Jewish community have been facing now for more than 2 years, to look at across state and territory governments, across the federal government, all of their various departments, across law enforcement, across intelligence agencies, immigration, citizenship, education, cultural sectors. This is a very, very detailed terms of reference, which would look at all of the incidents and reasons how, why this incident took place. Ultimately, we have seen the rise of Islamic fundamentalism, extremism, that has led to the deaths of 15 people and the hospitalisation of 41 Australians. We don't think that that should be left to some sort of piecemeal approach by the New South Wales government. It belies belief that the Prime Minister of this country would be abrogating his responsibility as leader of this nation to a state government to undertake a Royal Commission at a state government level. You know, this goes much broader than the New South Wales state, and if all we had was a New South Wales Royal Commission, it would be extremely limited as to what it could look into.
The Albanese government is saying that it will take too long, and they are satisfied with what they've got in terms of the review and the urgency they have mentioned that is needed to find out more details. Is that good enough?
No, absolutely not, Janie. This is a complete failure and abrogation of responsibility from this Prime Minister. Yes, Royal Commissions take time. There's no doubt about that. But we need to get this right. We need a thorough and fundamental examination of what went on here. And, you know, the Australian Jewish community have never been at more risk than they are today. And look, I mean, don't take my word for it. Don't take Susan Lee's word for it. The call, as you rightly pointed out, for a Federal Royal Commission is growing significantly. We've got a former High Court Chief Justice. We've got a former Governor-General. We've got former Prime Ministers. We have, of course, importantly, the Jewish community that are screaming out for this.
Yeah.
We've now got over 100 silks that are calling for this.
Sorry, we're running out of time. We've got just over a minute to go. I wanted to quickly ask you, what are your thoughts on the gun buybacks? Many people, including former Prime Minister John Howard, are saying that it's a distraction. And we've got to look at things like 3D guns that are getting more and more into the system, and there's no licence number for that. So what are your thoughts on guns and hate speech? We've got less than a minute now.
The opposition will look at any sensible reforms in relation to gun reforms. Of course we will, but it can't be served as the Prime Minister is trying to do and use that as a distraction. The cause of the deaths of 15 people over a week ago was as a result of Islamic extremism. And we've got to get to the bottom of that. We've got to get to the bottom and defeat anti-Semitism in this country. That's what's caused this.
All right, really appreciate you joining us today, Shadow Attorney-General Andrew Wallace. Thank you.
Authorised by Andrew Wallace, LNP, Boccarina, Queensland.